Here's how I got my FPS from about 50 to over 190 in Marvel Rivals with some very simple setting changes. This guide includes a fix for GPU crashing, memory optimization, a hidden NVIDIA setting to boost FPS, and the best in-game settings. So before we begin with the rest of the fixes, very recently there was a NVIDIA driver that was set to help fix random GPU crashes and stutters in Marvel Rivals. This is something the devs strongly recommend doing, so just check if you're on version 576.80 or on 581.29, which fixes major issues with prior drivers. And once that's done, let's move on to the first optimization. When launching the game, hover your mouse over this part and click on both Clear Local Config Files and Clear Local Redundant Files. Over the past few seasons, random cache files and redundant files can be clogging up the system that are really not required anymore, and we can get rid of those. One more important thing is they have completely changed how the shader compilation works in this game now. Instead of it happening at the start of the game launch, you can actually play the game while shaders are still being compiled. For the best performance, I'd recommend waiting in the lobby until 100% of the shaders are preloaded, or else you might face stutters, FPS drops, and overall poor performance. Alright, now let's first talk about the in-game settings. Let's start with anti-aliasing and super resolution. This could be the biggest boost to your FPS by having DLSS or FSR turned on. I like to have the super resolution mode on quality, but you can go for performance for more FPS. Next important setting is FSR frame generation. Frame generation can definitely work and give you higher frames, but will create a lot of input lag. I wouldn't recommend having this on if you're looking for the lowest input lag possible. Turn on NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency if you have the option. This will help reach lower input lag. Feel free to set your lobby FPS cap and background FPS caps to whatever you want, but make sure you either set your match FPS cap to your monitor's refresh rate or set it to unlimited. Next, we move on to the graphics settings. The biggest FPS killers here are going to be global illumination and reflection quality. These two settings have this lumen option, which is basically ray tracing. Always have this turned off or on screen space. As for everything else, you can set it to the lowest setting to maximize FPS. These are the settings I'm running, and you might be wondering how I'm still getting the same FPS, even at higher settings. And it's all because of Next Level Labs. I had no idea my CPU was actually the bottleneck on my system. I always assumed it was my GPU, especially with how demanding Unreal Engine graphics can be. That's exactly why Next Level Labs is a game changer. It's a free AI-powered performance tool that doesn't just show you when your system slows down, it shows you why. Unlike generic system monitors, it combines your gameplay and system stats into a single in-game overlay. So while you're playing, you can see exactly where FPS dips when your CPU or GPU is stressed, and even get AI-driven tips on how to optimize your setup. No more guesswork. If you're unsure how to turn insights into real FPS gains, you could just ask the AI which areas to improve and which settings to tweak. It's how I found out I could bump my graphics settings while knowing I also need to lower my CPU usage. Plus, you can benchmark your performance against your past 90-day average or even against global players, so you can track real progress. Think about it like this. Next Level Labs is built for gamers who want to play better without wasting hours tweaking settings all the time. The best part is it's completely free, you don't need an account, there's no subscription. You could just use the link in the description and get started today. Now before we close the game, open your task manager and you can find Marvel Rivals on the top. Right-click on it and click on Go to Details. Here the correct application is this one that ends with shipping.exe. Right-click on it and check out this Set Priority setting. Here you can set the priority level given by your system to the game. You can set this to high or above normal. If you set this to high and your PC performance gets worse, please change this setting back to normal. But in some cases, this can help you squeeze out some extra performance out of your system to get some more FPS. Next optimization we can do is to enable preset K for NVIDIA DLSS. An oversimplified explanation is that this is an updated newer version of DLSS, and we can force Marvel Rivals to use it. It's possible to gain about 20-30 FPS by doing this, but it would depend on your system. I recommend you still do it because there's no real downside to it. Now to do this, if you don't have it already, we'll need the NVIDIA app. Go ahead and open up the Start menu and search NVIDIA app and open it. Once you're in, go into the settings of Marvel Rivals. If it's not on the home page like mine was, you can find the game through the Graphics tab on the left. In the Settings page, scroll down until you find DLSS Override Model Presets. Open this setting and by default, it will be set to this one on the top. We need to enable this setting and then change the Super Resolution setting to Preset K. And then click Apply. Just like we mentioned at the start, one of the biggest factors in Marvel Rivals performance is your driver version. Try updating or downgrading your drivers, like to version 5.76.80, or you could even try using these studio drivers. Studio drivers are the most stable drivers ever, meant for creative professionals, but we can use them for gaming too. This in fact fixed all my FPS issues I had with Season 3. However, using this might mean sacrificing performance of your other games, so watch out for that. Next, open Steam, and on the right, click on the cogwheel and under Manage, click on Browse Local Files. Then follow this folder path as I do here: Marvel Game, Marvel, Binaries, and finally Win64. Here you'll find this Marvel Rivals Shipping EXE. Right-click on it and open its properties. Click on Compatibility and here, Disable Full Screen Optimizations and run this as administrator. Then click on Apply and OK. Then open the Start menu and type in Game Mode and open this first search result. Then click on Graphics and you'll find Marvel Rivals already here. Click on it and set the GPU preference to High Performance and select your main GPU. This is especially important if you have integrated graphics on your PC. This will also ensure that High Performance mode is used for Marvel Rivals.